Pisces, welcome to your 3-month overview. That is April, May, June. I hope you're well. I hope you're fabulous. Let's jump on into it, starting with that top line. So the months are broken down in accordance to the power number as it relates to the power card. 4, April, the Emperor. 5, May, the Hierophant. 6, June, the Lovers. Okay? And I'm also adding to the board this round, the Sun. What we understand makes us happy. What does that look like? Are we achieving it? Do we need to make adjustments? The Tower, anything that is unexpected or untowards. And then, of course, judgments, imperative decisions we might need to make from within us, outside of us, spiritual lessons, that kind of thing. Let's jump on into it. Show me. Show me Pisces in April, please. Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces in April, please. Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces. Show me Pisces in April, please. What's going on for Pisces in April? Thank you all so much for your lovely support. I'm doing much better, as you see. A lot more freedom of movement. It's very exciting. Oh, it's nice to get back into the swing of things, you know? All right. The Fool. 7 of Wands. 9 of Cups. Okay. All right, we'll take that. That's fine. You're showing me a sense of boundaries, but you're still willing to take risks and open up. It would make you happy to do so. 9 of Cups. What you're opening up towards in terms of risk, I don't know, but you're saying, I'd like to do this. This feels good. Some of you might literally be taking off on some sort of adventure relatively soon. And you're like, caution, boundaries, but okay. 9 of Cups, this feels good. I think this would personally, it would please me. I wonder what that is. Let's take a look. Any more on this? Opening yourself up to love, to new journeys, taking a trip. For some of you, it is taking a trip. Or you're contemplating it. Yeah. Some of you that came across quite distinctly. I don't know why, but there you go. Can I get more on this, please? Can I get more on this? What are we opening up towards, please? How are we taking a risk? What would make us happy? What would make us feel more personally fulfilled? More of that wish fulfillment, internal energy, yeah? What would make us feel more personally fulfilled? 4 of Pentacles, you've been holding back. Okay. So we've been showing some restraint for a while, and we kind of want to let that go. There is some 4 of Pentacles energy here, a holding on pattern that you've held on to something for a long time, holding back on a dream, holding back on a wish, holding back on a desire. That would explain to me straight away why I saw that 7 of Wands and that you would like to open up, but you're showing me a little bit of caution. So how you understand you are taking a risk in April, it's like you're leaning towards it. So whatever that is to you. Again, it could be something as simple as I'm taking a trip, to I'm going to go out and socialize more, I'm going to sign up to a book club. I don't know. It's just whatever that is to you. I see you choosing to engage in it. I also see that you had a history with whatever this is of holding off. Now is not the time. I got too much going on. I've been holding back. I've been holding myself back. And we needed to close that particular holding off pattern. Holding on and holding off pattern, really. We had to close that so we could better reach towards what we want. Why you're giving yourself permission now, I don't know, but you are. You're giving yourself permission in April to do whichever this is. And it feels good to you. The star is a lot more personable. And it is leaning more on that side of wish fulfillment. I just know that it's important to you, and I can see that you've been refraining from it for a long time. And that has come to a close. Okay, in respect of holding out, holding on. I don't want to spring the money for this. You know, that kind of thing. I don't want to pay for the ticket. It could be anything across the board, honey. I don't know. I'm sorry, it's so vague. But I just know that you are happily allowing yourself to open up with boundaries in place. Okay? But it's something that you want to do. And it feels good to you. Some of you just might be getting back there, out there on the scene. I don't know. It could be a little bit of anything. You know, the point is I see you taking more adventures than not, more risks than not. Okay? Cautious? Yes. But still, in that sense of I need more fulfillment in my life. Okay? That's all I'm seeing for you. I need more fulfillment, and it seems to be generating heavily in April. And that's good. I'm glad you're fulfilling goals. I'm glad you're fulfilling dreams, whatever that is to you. Okay? Some of you are like, I've always wanted to see such and such, or I've always wanted to drive somewhere and somewhere. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in April. You've probably had a little history of talking yourself out of it, whatever it is. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to open up. For some of you, it was a money thing. You didn't want to spend money on a particular thing, and now you do. You couldn't justify it, and now, well, maybe it's not about justification, maybe it's something that wouldn't personally make me happy. That's true for some of you. Show me May, please. Two of Swords, Death, the Sun. Okay. Ending the confusion makes you happy. Putting an end to confusion makes you happy. What's that, honey? Putting an end to confusion makes you happy. What's the confusion? Putting an end to some sort of confusion has made you happy, some sort of conflict about what to do or how to do it. And once you put it into that death, your sun energy opens up of its own accord. What is that? Knight of Pentacles, no movement. You've been wanting to open up for a long time. Honey, do it. Do it. It's taken you a long time to get here. That kind of fussiness, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Yes, no. I don't know. Let me talk myself out of it. I can't justify it, but it would actually make me happy. Do I know that necessarily? I'm not convinced of that. Let's put it off. So I don't know what that is to you, but it's coming through loud and clear over spring. Once you put it into that indecision and you open yourself up more to whatever this is, you feel so incredibly radiant. You really do. Your sun comes out. Your sun, and you even feel like you're reaching towards your own particular sense of the stars. So as you allow yourself to do this, and it is an allowance, I see you doing this. You're allowing yourself to open up more. Okay? Boundaries in place, fine. But it's something you've been refraining from for a long time, and when you stop trying to fight it, and when you stop refraining it and talking yourself out of it and overthinking it, you're great. You got a strong sense of energy renewal here. Hope, optimism, joy, sweet, simple feelings. Okay? Really strong enthusiasm. Again, I don't know what that is to you. I just know that it feels very much right to you. And we only create spaces of energy fragmentation within ourselves when we don't go in the accordance of our wishes, when we run contrary to them. No, that's not important to me. No, I can put that off. No, I'm not going to put money towards that. It's not like that. When in fact it is. Sometimes we need to do those things for ourselves because you're telling me this is personal to me and it's right for me and it actually means a lot to me, and I've been rejecting that or denying that for a long time. And for some of you, that's no joke. We're talking possibly 4 years or less. For some of you, I don't know what it is, but I see that you're opening up towards it, and it's beautiful, it's resplendent. You're like a tight flower that's opening up. I like it. And it was a long time coming with that Knight of Pentacles. It was a long time coming that you allowed yourself to discover you. You know? Stop holding back, stop refraining, stop overthinking. Just allow yourself to move through the energy, move through your desires, move through your goals, move through your wishes. That's it. You know, for some of you it is work. Some of you it is goals. Some of you it is love. Some of you it's just simple passions in this life. You know? But it's a bit more than simple passions, to be honest with you. It's something that you've been wanting to do, and it's been with you for a long time. Okay. And I see you getting through it. And the more that you engage in this energy that directly relates to your personal happiness, the more I see you receiving it. And that tendency you have to put things off or to not look at it or to decline decision making, that becomes less and less frequent too. Again, when we get ourselves in a better position to start saying yes to things, it starts to say yes to us back, right? And if we get used to saying no to things, it's going to tell us no too. So I see you saying yes more and more. And every time you do, it feels a little more correct. It feels a little more better. It feels a little more sun and star oriented. Okay? Oh, I wish I could get some details on this. I can't tell, honey, if it's love, life, work, goals, all of it, any of it. I don't know. But it has you feeling like you're achieving. It has you feeling like This is right for me, and I've always known that. And I've been putting it off, I don't know how long. It's something like that. When you start saying yes to this, it starts saying yes to you right back. I like it. I do. Some of you have a hard time giving yourself permission to move forward. But you are indeed giving yourself permission to move forward. Are you learning to control things, Liz? You know? Is that what that is? Are you learning to try to give up control? That sense of restraint, refraining? Let's see June. Check it out. Show me that Seven of Pentacles. We got Seven of Pentacles, Three of Wands, the Queen of Swords. I don't know, but you keep saying, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this. Again, you're not blasting this thing open at several miles an hour. It's at your own particular pace. And I just know that you incrementally keep saying yes to it. And it keeps coming back to you that this is confirmation. You're in a good place. And there's lovely, slow development. Now, some is specifically cooking in June as it relates to the 3D. I'm not quite sure what this is. You seem to anticipate that June is going to require a little more effort. But other than that, I see you being determined to continue to grow what you've experienced success-wise so far. What is June, though? There seems to be... What's going on in June? What's going on in June? There's something here in the 3D. Hold on. What's in June, please? What's in June? Show me what else is in June, please. You seem to have gotten a little firm here. Like you got things to do in June. Eight of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Six of Cups. Okay. There's something here that's pulling that energy away from you a little bit. Some kind of Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. This could be partner energy for sure. Could be partnership energy for sure. You find it a little draining in June, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's June specifically, as in this happens annually, or if it's just because something's coming up in June. It's looking like... there comes to be a point of, okay, we got to buckle down. Okay, I'm glad I'm exploring new things and all that, but their energy gets tight around June. And it seems to be for good reason. There's something here that requires upfront immediate attention and someone's patience to kind of weave their way through it in the 3D. And your energy's kind of on standby in lieu of someone else's needs at that time. You yourself don't personally feel much about it, but you also feel like you're supposed to be there as a support to someone else. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I don't quite see how those are related. This is more about your personal journey and you saying more and more yes to things that feel good to you and right to you. And then I see you over here kind of waiting and weeding through efforts that are both part yours and part someone else's. You seem to think that you are necessary as a support system to this person to help make decisions and get things done. You don't particularly care for it, but you also understand you're expected to be there. This person's saying, you're here for my support at this time. It's kind of like that. And you're like, yeah, I know. Come on. It's kind of like that. I don't know how else to put it. But you seem to think it's expected of you, and you seem to be delivering the energy that they need. Again, you're not thrilled with it, but it's kind of like, this is business. This is business as usual. You don't feel over the top about it, but you don't feel under about it. It's somewhere neutral. But yeah, for some reason, you have someone here attached to you. It's looking possibly like more on the personal side of partnership, home energy that's looking to you during June as additional support. And you're like, yeah, this is business as usual. So that's coming across heavily in June. It might have to do with work and or finances. Absolutely. It seems to relate bare minimum to one's personal care and comfort. So this is our individual finances, home energy. This is how it affects us, that kind of thing. They're not thrilled about it either, which is what's interesting, is the Eight of Cups. But they're like, we got to get it done, and I need your support and or help during this time. And you're like, yeah, I know. So it doesn't seem to be too egregious in any one direction, and it's not over the top thrilling either, but it's kind of like this is business as usual. And that seems to be coming up in June, and it seems to be fairly intensive as a necessary work function for you. It's just, I don't know that it's necessarily yours. You seem to be assisting this other person. That's how it's coming. You're coming across this attachment to someone else's energy during this time. Does that make sense? Somebody is. Somebody is. Somebody is. Oh, there you are, under the deck. Sometimes you feel a little resentful. This is for some of you, not all of you. You're underlying, since you are under the deck itself. I took a look under that. Ace of Cups, Judgment, Five of Swords, the Emperor. Some of you feel like sometimes your heart space takes a back seat, and you feel like you have to occupy this role as Emperor sometimes, and that you feel it's your job and that you have to put your heart behind you. Now, that's not always true, is it? I mean, that's something that you have to willfully see, and if that's true, then that would explain why you put off so much of your own personal goals, or you talk yourself out of it, or you say now's not the time, or it's not convenient, or you don't have the money. That's not true. It's just there's something in here about this premise that you're an emperor, but you're not a very comfortable one, for some of you. You know, and that's okay sometimes to put your own intentions and wants first. That's something you need to understand. Okay, that's for some of you, not all of you. Okay, so I think that wraps up June. A little bit of a busy period over here, but for the most part I see you calmly, carefully exploring avenues, both big and small, that are important to you. And as you do so, you have a stronger idea of what your sun is. Speaking of which, let's get over there. You're starting to feel it more so April, May. You take away the indecision. Okay, I don't know. And then you start saying yes, your sun opens up. Show me the sun, please. Show me the sun, please, for Pisces. Show me the sun, please. Show me the sun, please, for Pisces. Show me the sun, please. Show me the sun, please. What's so funny about that June energy is that you're expecting it. That's what's funny to me. You're like, yeah. I know. I'm here. I'm showing up, Captain. I'm showing up. I'm doing my bit. Show me the sun, please. Show me the sun. Show me the sun. Show me the sun. Show me the sun. Let's do one more. Show me the sun, please. Ten of Pentacles, and Three of Swords, the King of Pentacles. It's been a rough road to establish your foundation. It's been a rough road to establish your foundation. Sometimes it feels a little too practical. Sometimes it feels like it's all about the work and nothing but the work. But you have told yourself, by and large, that stability is my happiness. Okay? You seem to think that takes precedence. So, in that respect, you might be someone who is like a terribly serious Pisces, and you've always kind of put your wishes behind you, or the simple pleasures behind you, and written it off as it's not important. There's always something else that needs to come first. Family, friends, community, work, right? I could already kind of see that was a background for you. And you probably have always thought, and or felt, rather, I should say, that your sense of happiness is a form of stability, the resume stuff, you know. Everything's in order. So that King and Queen of Pentacles, so this is personal, you know, love, home, care, protection. And then the Ten of Pentacles has larger implications. So it's kind of like my son, Christina, as I've always understood it, my happiness has always been a form of stability and knowing that I can care for others and that others can care for me and that all is well for everyone. Okay, and I think that's a reasonable sun. I do. But we're also learning kind of the hard way with that Three of Swords that that's not all of the sun, right? When we willfully killed that indecision, those indecision things about little things, big things, little things, big things, and you concentrated more on incorporating more of what makes you happy and what it is that you desire, you are starting to establish a new definition of the sun and what makes you happy. And it's not just about stability, and it's not just about carrying on a certain way of life. There's a little bit more to that. And I think that's the only reason why I'm seeing that Three of Swords for you, is because it's kind of like, well, there's not as much happiness as I had thought. It feels good, don't get me wrong, and I worked hard for it. Me and my person, I'm assuming there's another person here with you. We've always worked hard to achieve this, but now I'm looking at it, and I have it, and I'm stable, and we feel good. There's another piece in this. There's another piece in this equation we call the sun, and that's personal happiness. Yes, correct. So I'm glad to see that you are discovering it. Stability is beautiful, and it does wonders, obviously. It does absolute wonders. But it's not the end-all to be-all to who we are. We also still have to take into account our sense of individual selves. And because the idea is if we're happy, whatever foundation we have is going to be a happy one too. So don't neglect the self. Continue to incorporate new goals, old ones, little ones, big ones. Okay? Don't look for reasons to talk yourself out of them or to justify the expense of it. If it's manageable, then do it. Okay? If it's feasible, then do it. And you're going to light up more. And you're going to have a stronger sense of what makes you happy in this foundation. Okay? We want to put more good vibes into our foundation, not less, right? Show me the Tower. Is there anything unexpected that Pisces should be made aware of? Anything unexpected, please, for Pisces? Anything unexpected that Pisces should be made aware of? Is there anything unexpected, please, that Pisces should be made aware of? The High Priestess. Ooh, the Nine of Swords, the King of Cups. Overthinking. Overthinking your happiness and how simple it is, to be honest. It's just something you need to realize. That's all. As I say, there's that fourth card again, repeating energy, Queen of Pentacles. There's that idea of what's comforting, and stable and lovely and founded, but obviously it goes beyond that. There's that personal sense of my heart space feels good and I need to take care of me and I want to feel more in this life. Other than just, am I provided for? Do I feel stable? You know, there's more to life than that, right? I want to feel big feelings too, and maybe it's safe to do so. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. It's really not that mind-blowing. It's not that complicated. You know, it's something that you've always kind of overanalyzed or overthought. And that's your own particular tower that you need to address. Is that your High Priestess, your intuition, your King of Cups? These are all good energies. These are all good entities. And they say, I can feel my feelings and I can take them outside of me and generate happiness too. Not just in what's been established, but also what naturally resides within me. And there's things that I want to do and experience. Again, both big and small. That's it. It's not that complicated. It's really not. And that's a pretty manageable tower. And sometimes it's the simplest things that make us happy. And going outside our disciplines, outside our scripts, and allowing us to go off page a little bit in the interest of not just stability and foundation, but personal pleasure, personal happiness. Because it lends to the landscape of who we are. You know? You know, your painting's not done being painted, honey. It's not. Your painting goes on until we expire. And even when you think that canvas is full, I promise you, there's a piece you're missing. You know? And it's kind of like you want to add more pieces to your canvas. That's it. More beautiful, broad strokes that are more in emotion as opposed to definition. So it's not a knock on earth energy. Like I said, it's beautiful energy. It's a good feeling, very much so, when we are established and we're comfortable. So while the pentacle might be very defining, the cup, our emotional process, that's part of who we are too. I think you just want to paint your canvas a little more. That's all. You have the natural feeling in you. It was always there. It's just you always overthought it, shot it down, said it's not practical, whatever. And so I'm glad to see that you're getting a very slow but steady case of otherwise. You know, it's very simple and it's not mind-blowing shit. Well, that's how tarot is sometimes. Real tarot is real life. Very rarely do I see stuff that's so crazy over the top. Sometimes I can see some very deep spiritual lessons and very deep spiritual connections, but in this case, no. I'm seeing very simple life things today. And that's good too. Okay, judgments, decisions. Judgments and decisions, please. Judgments, decisions within us, outside of us, within us, outside of us for Pisces, please. Spiritual lessons. Judgments, please. The Star. Here it is again. Six of Swords is a decision. It's a decision. It's a decision. It is 100% a decision. All those decisions you've ever made to leave something behind, you're coming back to it. You've never really given up on it. You never stopped taking your eye off of it. Whatever that it is to you. And for many of you, it's multi-directional. It's a little bit of this. It's a little bit of that. You had more inclination to turn things down because, again, it wasn't practical. You didn't know about it. I got to overthink, etc. So you're starting to do that less and less. And that was under your decision. And I can promise you it relates to your Tower, very much so. That these feelings were already innate within you and you just didn't give yourself much chance to explore the richness of you. I mean, I know that sounds cheesy, but honey, sometimes cheese is cheese. And since when has cheese been a bad thing? Personally, I love Gouda and Munster. Those are my favorites. But hi, my name is Christina. I'm a little different. But no, I mean, there's so much beauty within you that is on the emotional level. You have a huge depth within you. It's just I don't think you're acquainted with it. And it's weird saying that to a Pisces. It is weird saying that to a Pisces. That is really weird. Like, honey, your intuition's always been there. Of all the water signs, you're supposed to be the most intuitive. Okay? Scorpio gets the credit, but it's really supposed to be you, honey. Okay? You're the fish. Alright? You're supposed to be able to cover a vast terrain, unlike Cancer or Crab, our water cousin, and Scorpios. We might go deep, but you guys are supposed to be versatile. Okay? You're supposed to go everywhere with your emotions. But no, you have such a deep inner emotional world and it hardly ever gets to express itself. So I'm glad to see that you are defying your own norms. You're just doing it your own way. I like this a lot. So your judgment and your Tower go hand in hand. It is literally your decision to turn away from your own dreams. And it's also understand there's a reason why you never stop taking your eye off it either. It's because you're not really done with it. You're not done with you. You're not done with you. Even if things look tidy and squared away on the surface, and that's pretty tidy and squared away, cohesive, but there's always been a little piece of you missing in it. And it's actually not a little piece at all. It's actually quite large. Yeah, no, you can 100% convert that Tower energy from what you've always known to discovering more of who you are. There is a lovely, rich, emotional world within you, and I just don't think you allow yourself to be in the position to explore it very often. And there are dreams that you have left behind, but you never stop taking your eye off, and that's your first clue, right? That's your first clue that you're not done. There's other things you want to pursue. There's other things you want to feel. There's other things you want to experience, and that's because it's absolutely true. You know, it's one of those things, honey, you might have been that Pisces where it's like, it's been foundation, day in, day out. That's been the goal, and it has been the goal for the vast majority of my life. Okay, Rome is conquered. Now what? Huh. You know, it's obviously a little bit more extensive than that, but there's always been a reason why you felt a little bit of pain, no matter how glossy and together everything looks. That little bit of pain turns out to be quite a bit of you. you know, and the richness of you again, okay? So I'm glad to see that you are defying your own norms. Your decision and your tower go hand in hand, as far as I can tell in my book. The only thing I see that's really, really solid in my eyes is June. For some reason, it's not your gig. I don't feel, it could be. I can't tell. The energy exchange here being what it is, because there's clearly another person in there with you. It doesn't feel like your gig, but it feels like you are a support structure to that gig. Like you're expected to be there, all hands on deck, right? That's what it feels like. And you're like, yeah, I know. I know. And it has absolutely to do with the Pentacle world, again, something that you're very acquainted with. So it's like, again, you already know how to treat this. But other than that, you know, I'm just seeing you develop your own particular personal richness over the spring. I'm glad to see this energy generating for you, and it's coming up sooner rather than later if you haven't already started to kind of engage, you know, with these things, with these elements in your life. Very good. Very good. Incredibly. Don't hate me because your message is on there. Honey, I can't please anybody. It's too long. It's too short. It's too... Oh my God. So you got to stop trying. You just can't please everyone. You just can't. It's not possible. But I don't want you to think, you know, I'm discriminating, because I get that too. It's under 50 minutes. Do you not like us or something? And then I get shit no matter what direction I go. Like, I don't know. No matter what direction I go in, right? Yeah, no. Yours was incredibly straightforward and simple, and I actually thank you for that. I appreciate it, and it's nice to see some very simple life goals, but I'm not saying simple as it's not important. That was this Pisces thinking. It's too simple, and it's probably not practical right now, so don't worry about it, leave it behind, get back to it later. And it's really nice to see some really basic real life stuff happen. Sometimes I see the stars and the impossible and the whoo, what? And other times I see horrible flaming shows like dumpster fires. So to get something that's like, actually, here's a normal person doing normal things. Doing normal things. That's great. That's great. You know, Scorpios had a fantastic one. It was, even I was sitting there like, all right. And then, it was great though. I actually liked it quite a bit. And it made me very much smile. And yours is too in its own way, because I love the simplicity of it. I do. I feel like I'm having a conversation with a good friend, and I'm telling my good friend, yeah, you should do that thing. You've been talking about that thing for years. Do it. And that's what it's like to me right now. Okay, in this reading today. No, not that one. Okay. This is weird. I don't know why I'm pulling this one. This one, these aren't my favorite. These are two oracle decks, and they tend to be very, very generalized, but there's something in here that I feel like you've said to yourself or you've had a conversation with yourself about. This is the combination of the Hidden Truth Oracle as well as Messages of Closure. It feels like there's something in here that you would say to yourself or Spirit would say to you. What's going on? What am I supposed to see for Pisces, please? What am I supposed to see for Pisces? What am I supposed to see for Pisces, please? I replay our conversations over and over. That's what I'm talking about. It's like an inner dialogue between you and you. All the conversations that you've had with yourself. And I don't know, but there's a lot of them where you're like, I would love to do that. Not this year. That sounds nice, but it's probably a waste of time or a waste of money. That's what I'm talking about. Those inner dialogue of conversations, stuff that you've told yourself over and over for years. And I'm like that friend that's telling you, Pisces, do it. You say you want to go on that cruise. You've been talking about it for years. You say it's a waste of money. I don't think so, because you keep coming back to it. It's something you want to do, and it may not be what everyone understands, but it's important to you. So maybe you should come back to that, right? That's what it sounds like to me. You're playing conversations with yourself over and over. Just being near you is intoxicating. Now that's interesting. I'm so attracted to you. So for some of you, this is a love element, for sure. And it did say it was multidirectional. And that star can be very, very personal in terms of desire. Absolutely. Okay? But just being near you is intoxicating. I'm so attracted to you. So for some of you, yeah, it is much more on the personal / romantic side. Absolutely. That's always a possibility. I don't know what's in relation to this. I don't know what kind of partnership that is. I don't know that it's marriage. It might be a helper function. I don't know. This might be something completely unrelated. It does have work function built into it. So when I'm saying it could be someone who expects you to support them, it could be everything from a colleague to a coworker to a family member. I don't know. But you're on board with it and it's expected of you. That's all I know. And you're meeting the expectation. You know it's expected of you. So yeah, this could be very well, in that sense, just being near that this person or this love energy represents the star and you've put it off or you couldn't put much time into it or really express your emotions and desires for it, but it was always there and it was always lingering and you're like, no, just get that shit out of your head. But you keep your eye on it. You never really left it. What does that tell you? It's deeply personal for some of you, absolutely. Or you have really forsaken deep emotional love. Again, your particular tower here, for the sake of what you understood you could rationally, practically work on, and that was your comfort zone, your stability. And yet that deep feeling with you always existed. And, you know, the 3D world might be stable, it might be solid, but a part of you was always missing. Right? The heart of the actual home. You have the home. I know you do. The heart, though. Right? That's another interpretation. I see the home. Where was the heart? Something like that. Something to think about. But yeah, for some of you, it absolutely leans more towards love. I am seeing it a little bit more multi-directional, though. It's a little here, it's a little there. So that tells me it's little pieces of goals, little desires, big ones, too. Goals, life, love, all of it. I know I repeat myself, I have to, because people will focus in on one thing I said and forsake everything else, and then I see it in the comments. Well, did you think of this? Yeah, I actually said that at 42 minutes and 33 seconds. That's another reason I repeat myself. Let me tell you, it's not just because I can go on, and I can, but it's because some people are like, you get fixated on one thing and dismiss everything else I said. Yeah, argue with that. I know you will. Okay. Oh, why not? Oh my God. Pisces, how? 37. Wow. I don't think you need advice, but advice. So I mean, I think it's actually really straightforward. I do. And this is a little formula, though, that's running underneath all this. There is a little formula in here. I don't know if you picked up on it. When you start to say yes more and more to you, everything around you starts to say yes back to you. Okay? And that's how you know it's correct. Confirmation in everyday life. All right. Advice, please. Advice, please, to Pisces. Advice, please, to Pisces. Advice, please. Advice, please. Advice. There's that Queen of Pentacles again. Queen of Swords. Page of Pentacles. I know it seems like the majority of the investments in your life, upper division energy, of course I give you credit for that, that's the non-issue, has always been very serious. This is what I do, this is how I do it, you know, practical, rational, practical, rational, practical, rational. And in fact, you don't even question it. You haven't changed the rhythm of that investment in a long time and you weren't looking to. There's sometimes we only see pages of Pentacles on this kind of energy. It's because, well, this is what's always worked. So I don't really have to change the investment, you know. I'm not looking to change anything. And so for some of you, I know this has always been kind of priority energy. There's a lot of earth here today, there's a lot of air here today. And those two can work really strongly together in the sense of I'm practical, you're rational, or it's the both of you, or it's the combination of just you as yourself. And that's what I've always gravitated towards. And I haven't changed that investment in years, Christina. And that's why the emotional part of you wants so much more transformation. It wants room to express itself. A very deep love energy within you that perhaps doesn't look like that on the surface, but that doesn't mean it's any less important. In fact, it's probably the biggest piece. But if that wasn't your perspective when you were building and constructing your life, then there you go. It wasn't your perspective. But your perspective is trying to change, and for good reason. We're talking about the richness and quality of you. And by God, honey, if you're going to work that hard for stability and resources, get you into a space where you can actually feel it. That you're happy, that you are indeed successful, and that you get to love it. You get to love yourself for everything that you have done and achieved, etc. Okay. I kind of feel like just free shuffling these. I don't know why. What is this? Knight of Wands? Yeah, a little bit of passion doesn't hurt either. Oh, the moon, see? There's such an inner richness to you, honey. There's such an inner... You're walking around on Earth like you don't. You do. That's what's so odd to me, because you're Pisces. I'm having a hard time with that, because even though your reading here is so beautifully simple, it's not. I know you built a lifetime into a kind of certain point of view that always worked for you until it didn't. And that part of you, that richness of you, wants to come out so bad. It's compelled. It's like the stability is not enough. The foundation's not. Why isn't it enough? Why? Why? Love? Passion based on energy because I want to, not because I have to. Big difference. There's energy because I have to, because it's practical and rational, and then there's energy that I want to, because this means something to me. The side of you that says this means something to me and I want this has been neglected. Okay? You didn't mean to. I saw what the priorities are, Pisces. I got it. So it's kind of like, here's you right here in the middle, right? Here's a good summary. Your passion, your energy, natural energy. Because you want to versus I have to. Right? This is what you keep behind you. This is what you keep at the forefront of you. Get it? This is as much as real to you as this is. It's just this is what you've acknowledged. This is what you try not to. If it's feelings, Christina, it just can't be practical. It cannot. Oh no. On the contrary, honey, you're a water sign. You know, let me tell you something. When water signs have a full heart, there's nothing that they can't achieve. Like, seriously. Like, so for instance, I and a lot of Scorpios and other people I know who are water-oriented, heavily so, when we feel so good about something that we do, we throw all of ourselves into it because of the feeling, not because it's necessarily practical, you know? But it can become practical if we do it with our most sincere selves. And then there's nothing you can't build or accomplish. It's just a different approach. It's just a different approach. You know? It's just a different approach. There's nothing wrong with putting your pentacle forward, or putting your fire forward, or your air forward, or your water forward, so long as it works for you. Right? But there comes a point, too, when we realize that's not just the only thing that works, though. Right? Okay, it's so weird having a talk like this with Pisces. I might have a talk like this with like Capricorn or or with Virgo. I know I've had these talks with Virgos before. But saying this to Pisces is weird. So it makes me suspect that perhaps Pisces is not your sun dominant or your rising. So, which is not a knock, but it kind of tells me Pisces might be one of your lesser placements. Or your less stronger ones, but it's definitely there. I see it. I see your water wants. Okay. But there's another part of you that completely hijacks the experience and says, well, it has to come from this point of view, otherwise it's not worth it. There you go. And I hope you lean more into your heart space, your intuition. So you get a little bit more room to explore yourself. And how are you going to finish out that canvas, honey? With what you already know exists? Or the parts of you that remain to be discovered? Okay. Okay. I think the timeline speaks for itself. Like I said, your Tower and your Judgment go hand in hand. They make perfect sense to me. Even your Sun does. Your idea of what the Sun is changing a little bit, and I see it more practically applied back here. Stop overthinking things to death. That's, look, death is, you see this? Death is tired of this, like, stop doing that. In which case you might have some Scorpio in your chart, because it's like, and then when that happens, the sun comes out. Okay, I think that about covers it. I really don't need to do much oracle exploration here, I don't think. Let's do this one. Let's do this one real quick, and then I'll throw down some charms, and then we'll call it a day. What's in here, please? Yeah, for some of you do have Scorpio in your chart. Isolation. Who had this? That hit me in a funny way too when I saw that. Isolation. It was one of the earth signs, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might have some really strong Taurus in your chart, Virgo, Capricorn. You know, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing Pisces dominant. There might be some heavy influence here of earth energy that's within you, outside of you. Isolation, big success. So in that respect of you kind of having isolated your feelings, bear down, take care of business, responsibility, it has led to a successful life for you and what looks like a pretty good foundation. Your connectivity is coming across fairly heavily. You seem to know everybody. And in that respect, it has led you to success, but it meant, for some reason, isolating the bigger feelings in you. There's more to you, honey. There's more to you. Exactly. New perspective. Case in point. I like that. Very good. In the separation, new perspective on how you have separated these parts of yourself. And that's exactly what you yearn to integrate more of. I agree. Very good. Okay. I'm not saying you need to sign up to skydiving lessons. What I'm saying is start saying more yes than no. Okay? All right. Yeah, I know. That's frog with a coin in its mouth. I know. It's about the prosperity. I know. And wanting it to multiply. I understand. But for some of you, there might have been some significant signaling about what you were wanting to do around winter. Specifically, you might have started thinking about this more around New Year's. As a resolution, possibly. Last winter might have been significant. In that respect of time has passed, we're at winter's end, life begins anew, renewal. Where's my life going? Where's it led up to? How many winters have I seen exactly? That kind of thing, when we start thinking like that, right? Can kind of kick things off. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives us perspective. The heavy Scorpio references today, so again, could be connecting to one in some sense as either, well, for some of you, I did see sharply defined energy towards desirous of somebody's energy. It could be that it was a Scorpio. Again, you could have some very strong Scorpio in your chart. But that great white shark, I love how they give us all these symbols. And, you know, lightning bolt, stingray, tower, shark, death. It's like really, it's so dramatic. It's so dramatic. These things were in place before I was even born. I can't change that. But it's like, I get it. Transformation, winter, time of snowflake. I got it. And yet we're fixed water. You know? Deep, deep love energy. Huge. But the symbols they give us don't reflect that at all. It's not fair. But that's why you got to get to know your Scorpio. That's why you got to get to know your Scorpio. All right? Get to know your Scorpio. That sounds like a public service announcement. Get to know your Scorpio. Arrow, sign of Sag, you know, and then also hitting the point home, taking aim, you know, putting yourself out there, launching yourself out there. Okay. Some of you will have wanted to do shark diving, though. Yeah. Like the... Well, that was very specific. But when you go, the kind where you go in the cage so you can observe. Wow. That's cool. That's cool. You let me know if you wanted to do that. That's cool. That's cool. That would be a good place to start. Okay, the Eiffel Tower. Again, saying that more lately. For some reason, this went out of rotation and now it's coming back in. I don't know why. But, yeah, no, it's true. The height of romantic dreams and notions, but they are, just like that pentacle energy, built in reality. That's why I love the Eiffel Tower so much. Those big dreams, that star, those big feelings, are they achievable? Yes. It takes as much pentacle energy as anything else. It's just as realistic as anything else, and it has just as much foundation as anything else. Even if it was done so in the inspiration of love, possibly because it was done so in love. And there's nothing that's not achievable, 100%. That's more like who you are. The feather, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, respectively. The wilted tulip, sometimes it feels like you just don't have that side in your life. Where the romance is wilted or down, right? And we want to be able to smell that particular fragrance again. We want that kind of inspiration again. And also that, again, that form of self-pleasure, sensuals. You know, I want to pull towards me what I am attracted to, and I feel like I haven't been able to do that in a long time. Diamond, again, more that heavy earth energy here for you today. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, the sign of commitment and loyalty to the foundation. And this is why I'm a success, Christina. That wasn't random. I know it wasn't random, honey. I'm not saying it was random. Obviously, that took years. That took years. Oh, no. But success isn't always measured in wealth. Clearly. It helps. But that's not all of it. Heart with the nurse's cap. Healing our hearts. Understanding what it is that makes us us. Yes. One initial. 1. G. 1. All symbols. 1 letter. Can we get some medallions? Any more initials, please? Okay. P. And camel. Now that makes sense to me. The camel here, the conservation system. This is how we have camel represents that long haul energy. I have to conserve my feelings. I have to conserve my emotions because I've got a job to do. I have to survive great stretches of desert for long periods of time. In other words, I have to get through it. Very earth-oriented. I understand. But I feel like, I know this sounds weird, but I feel like your camel days are trying to close themselves out a little bit. And feel more, you don't have to be so conservative. And you can deep dive in there. And that's one of your tower energies. Can you convert it? Do you want to convert it? Do you have it in you? Anyway, that's enough. All right, Pisces, honey, you put it in the comments as you see fit. This was nice. It was pleasant to work with. And these are very achievable things. These are very achievable goals. Some of them big, some of them small. Some of them might even come in as a surprise to you. I just know that there's some that you have been actively rejecting, but never quite left. Again, it was a judgment call on your part, but it's a decision you're never really done with because you never really wanted to leave it behind. It just needed a different approach from a different perspective. One that's not practical, perhaps, or so rational, but it does come from a place of the heart. Okay, that's enough. All right, like I said, put in the comments. Take care. Be well.